So this is a closer look at my Detolf and how I've decided to use it. I'll start by saying that this is really the first uh, piece of furniture that I bought specifically for displaying my Transformers collection. And at the time when I bought it, I only had a few figures. They were Masterpiece Transformers, and I think maybe I had six. And I think like everybody else, I thought that one Detolf would be just fine. But it didn't take long before I realized that I needed more space because my collection at the time was just growing so fast. And I think that I could have easily been, somebody who ends up with a lot of Detolfs, but because my collection was growing so quickly, I pretty much knew that one more Detolf wouldn't be enough, two more probably wouldn't be enough, three, four, who knows. And that's ultimately why I ended up with some other pieces, like this guy over here and whatever else. So, that said, it still has some use, and I've not gotten rid of it. And it helps that I've done some things to it to keep it relevant. So I'll talk about what I did specifically. Since the Detolf is glass all the way around, I didn't really have a problem with putting light panels on the back. These are Nanoleaf Smart Light panels. Nanoleaf Aurora, I believe, is the name, and they're full RGB, and you can change the brightness, change the colors per panel, set up scenes, and cycle through colors, and all kinds of fun things. And you can see here I've got a couple panels are orange for the top shelf, purple for the second panel or second shelf where I've got some Decepticons, and then a little bit of blue down here with Voltron. And it's just a static color right now. There's no cycling or anything like that. And yes, backlighting like this can cause a little bit of washing out of the characters or the figures when you're looking at them because your eyes do weird things, and even on the camera, it's kind of doing that. But I've mentioned in some of my other videos, my office, this room is kind of small, so I don't have a lot of space or floor space or even wall space for fixtures or lamps. So my only real light source is my collection displays. So I've had, all my other displays have a lot of lighting, which kicks out a lot of light into my office. So they light the figures and my office. So, yeah, these panels are actually fairly dim. They show up really bright on this camera, but I can make them dimmer, I can turn some off, make them brighter, whatever. On the top there's, a third-party Unicron hanging out. That may be temporary, especially since the lighting isn't great up there. It works right now, but we'll see how it goes. Also, with putting, the light panels on the back of this display, it means that, I can actually hide the wires. When I look at this thing, there's almost no wires at all. I think that a lot of folks like to do different things with the Detolf where they put strip lighting or overhead lighting, and because it's glass all the way around, there's nowhere to hide the wires, at least not in my opinion. Yeah, so the figures in here don't have any real rhyme or reason. There's maybe a little bit of a theme here on this one shelf, and then on the top one is like my weird Optimus Prime shelf, and it looks a little crammed in there because there's this bigger Optimus figure is from the Bumblebee movie, and it came with all this extra stuff. A display stand that has its own lights, and then they like these armory pieces with his guns, which gave me some more leveling, which I could put a few figures on there to add some layers or whatnot, break up the space. It might be a little crowded though, but yeah, a Detolf, what can you say? Oh, and Yeah, it's on some risers to bring up the lower shelves so they're a little more usable. I think the bottom shelf is still kind of unusable no matter what I do. And I don't want it to be too much higher because this thing is, if you've had a Detolf, you know it's not the sturdiest thing in the world, and for the top over wouldn't be great. At one point or another, I did actually try to put in some lights on the top, but never got around to actually keeping them because I didn't like how the light didn't make it to the lower shelves, which is another reason why I have backlighting. Yeah, that's it.